What's up, slimy fertlers? Are you enjoying the nice hot summer? Maybe with a nice cold glass of pop or beer or some shit?
Well, I know I'm fucking not. It's red hot, I'm boiling, I can't fucking breathe properly, I'm thirsty all the fucking time, can't see properly because my eyes are sensitive to light, I can't fucking do anything without really itching because of the heat. If I get sun on me, it makes me itch and brings me out in fucking blisters. I'm fucking miserable. But at least I've got some nice cold pop.
Hey guys, I've got some news that's really gonna piss you off if you like cold drinks when it's hot like this.
Well, they're part of a growing movement to abolish ice.
You're a bit of a dumb shit, Tactichu. However, I sense idiocy, which can only mean one thing. Roll intro. Hello, slimy fertlers. I'm back after a bit of an absence. Hope you all watched the mirror stroke guest video I did the other day. It's by a friend of the channel, and it's very good. You should go and watch him. Link to his channel is in the description of that video. Go and watch that. But anyways, today's dose of idiocy comes courtesy of the BBC. No doubt, as soon as I upload this video, I'm going to get a fucking copyright claim or something on it, because the BBC really doesn't like you to, take their stuff and under fair use, provide commentary or critique of it, even though I live in the fucking UK and I actually pay for a TV licence, which I really fucking hate having to do, because it's really not worth what you're fucking paying for, especially when they produce shite like this. So yeah, here we are with some of the BBC's coverage of the Abolish ICE movement, which is basically a group of fucking morons who seem to think that actually enforcing the law with regards to borders on your country and stuff like that is horrible, and they try and come up with suggestions of what will be good. But we all know that basically all they want is just to have no borders and all be communists and whatever. It's fucking retarded. So anyways, let's hear them out. Let them dig their own graves.
Why are all of these people protesting?
Because they haven't got anything better to do, and their Trump derangement syndrome compels them to virtue signal how much they dislike him by fashionably protesting something without thinking about what they're actually doing.
Well, they're part of a growing movement to abolish ICE. That's the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement branch of the Department of Homeland Security.
Basically, the agency that maintains border security and stops assholes just wandering in uninvited. Think of them as your loyal, faithful guard dog.
It started as a protest slogan against immigration enforcement.
Yeah, protest movements started by idiots who think that, everybody should just be letting, given carte blanche to enter the country without any kind of, checks and stuff being done on them. People such as terrorists, drug dealers, drug mules, people traffickers, and people fetching, children across borders for purposes of sexual trafficking, things like that. They should just all be allowed in, no questions asked.
By many who were protesting the actions of the agency with regard to how they were enforcing immigration laws.
What she's actually meaning is that they're, protesting against the laws that have been on the books since Bill Clinton's presidency that didn't matter to them at all until, President Trump got elected. And they have to show how much they hate President Trump by blaming him for laws that were brought in by Clinton. They weren't bothered during Clinton's administration, they weren't bothered during Bush's administration, certainly weren't bothered during Obama's administration, but somehow it ends up being Trump's fault. Oh dear.
Protesters are especially condemning the agency for enforcing the separation of migrant families under President Trump's zero-tolerance policy.
The policy was brought into law during Bill Clinton's era and has been enforced ever since. The current situation, however, was brought about by a story that was featured in Time magazine, which showed pictures of children in cages, etc., etc., all of which turned out to be completely false. But, these people just, don't care whether the narrative that they're being fed is false or not. It gives them a tremendous sense of purpose to think that they're actually doing something when realistically they're not doing anything particularly useful. All they're doing is just causing more problems and completely defeating the object of what they want in many ways.
This president has advocated much stronger, much stricter, much harsher enforcement policies.
No, he isn't. He is just enforcing existing laws as they are written in the law books.
And that's being carried out by this organization.
Yes, because that's what their job is, just like your job is to be a dumbass.
But what started out only as a hashtag and a slogan is also stirring up politicians. Some progressive candidates have even used the movement in their campaigning.
Yeah, this is a tactic called bandwagon politics. Basically, a political candidate will amend their manifesto or whatever to include issues that people seem to be interested in at the time. They virtue signal, oh, if you elect me, I'm going to get tough on whatever. And people then, may end up voting for them on that single issue alone, regardless of any of their other policies that they lay out. Chances are, though, that once they're elected, they'll lose interest in that because they just basically want to get elected into a position of power. They might do a bit of lip service towards the issue, but realistically, if it's not something that benefits them in any particular way, shape or form, then they're just not going to pay any fucking attention to it, to be honest. It's a very dishonest, political pandering tactic. But then again, have you ever met an honest politician? Because I know I fucking haven't.
In order for us to feel safer in our streets, our churches, our schools, and our homes, we must abolish ICE.
Yeah, because everyone feels safer in the presence of Mexican gang members and drug dealers.
In Congress, I'll work to close ICE down,
Potentially putting thousands of ICE enforcement officers out of work, whilst simultaneously increasing unemployment and crime. Whoa, that's a well-thought-out policy, you dumb fucker.
And a group of Democratic lawmakers on the left are promising to turn the rallying cry into policy. They've received backlash from the president and his administration.
And so they fucking should. If you look at France and Germany now, both of which have allowed completely, unfiltered and unfettered immigration into the country, unemployment is now rife, crime has gone up significantly, and there's people that come into the country, they're not interested in working at all. They just like, come into the country just to claim the the unemployment benefits and things like that, and then they supplement their incomes by theft, mugging, whatever. The figures are there, just look it up. But these Democrats who want to close down ICE and replace it with something a bit softer that's just basically an open door swinging in the wind, don't seem to understand that. But then again, they like people to be unemployed and everything because then they have more control over them, and in the end that's what they're wanting. They're wanting authoritarian control and displacement in the country so that at some point they can do something mediocre or of little importance that has some small amount of benefit and claim that they solved all the problems. Yeah, seen that before.
Democrats don't like ICE, they don't like Border Patrol, they don't like anybody.
These spurious attacks on ICE by our political leaders must stop.
But not all Democrats are thrilled with the idea.
Well, imagine my shock.
Should ICE exist? Well, certainly. ICE has a purpose. ICE has a role.
So why is the agency so important?
If you have to ask that question, then you really shouldn't be protesting it, or indeed attempting to have any kind of opinion on the matter. Seriously, go read a fucking book, you morons.
It was created as part of an administrative organizational plan from the George W. Bush administration following the enactment of the Homeland Security Act of 2002, which created the Department of Homeland Security. In addition to the immigration enforcement functions of ICE, ICE conducts a lot of multinational investigations of transnational criminal organizations. It investigates child pornography, counterproliferation, a host of other laws.
So what could replace ICE? The group of lawmakers has yet to provide any ideas on what could replace the agency if it were abolished.
But I'm in absolutely no doubt whatsoever that whatever they propose to actually replace the single well-functioning department that is ICE would instead be some sort of multiple different agencies all trying to work together, mostly unsuccessfully, because it's a case of we need permission from, one agency to do this, and we need an interagency conflict, things like that. Basically adding more levels of bureaucracy and government where it isn't fucking needed, ends up costing more money, and the people they employ will probably not be former ICE employees. They will be more along the kind of administrative bureaucratic lines. The sort of people who sit behind desks all the time and think of things, but don't actually go out and see them implemented, in person, see how bad their ideas are.
Isn't it also ironic that once again, the idiots want to destroy something without having a single fucking clue on how they plan to resolve the problem once they have gotten what they want? Seems to be a recurring trait amongst so-called progressives, that they can't see past the end of their own nose.
Most protest movements do start with extreme positions that can turn into policies.
Extreme positions don't always make for good policy, unless you like book burning and putting Jews in death camps.
Maybe at some point we'll meet in the middle and figure out what we want to do for real.
Yeah, that would be nice to, get people round a discussion table and thrash out the issues over a couple of beers and a smoke, but yeah, that rarely happens with issues like this. You get the crazy screeching and stuff, and even if they do come to the table and some compromise is met, you're not going to please all of them. There's those who, as far as they're concerned, communism or the communist ideal of no borders, no possessions and stuff like that is the only outcome that they will accept. It's just unfortunate that they don't particularly seem to understand that if they get what they want, they'll soon fucking know that they were wrong. But yeah, that's enough from this video. I did snip little bits out of it here and there, but the general gist of it you've got there, and my commentary on it. So if you made it this far, thank you for watching this video. I am wanting to try and do some new channel art for the characters of Slackachu and Tactachu, maybe a few new characters. But at the moment, I'm just too hot and bothered to sit drawing, especially considering the fact that I'm doing it just using the touchpad on my laptop, not using a graphics tablet or anything. So I'd really like to do some more, more art and stuff like that, instead of just having those two static as they've been for the past year. But yes, thank you for watching. As you will see, there are social contact details up on screen. I am now back on Twitter. So if you aren't following me on Twitter and you're watching this video, then find me on the old Twitter, follow me on there. Donations to the channel are always welcome and will be put to good use. They will be received with thanks. At the moment, I am looking to try and start saving up for a new laptop or a new computer, because my laptop's starting to show its age a little bit now. Other things that I plan on doing if I manage to go there is me and a friend are about going to Elvington Museum. I'll get some footage there, and have a little bit of a talk about the military stuff that's down there, because that's one of the things I like talking about is old military stuff. So like I say, any donations, if you want to follow me, that's follow me on Twitter or Gab, that's great. And like, comment, share this video, it's all good. I'd tell you to like and subscribe if you're just coming across this video. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button to get notifications on my extremely infrequent upload schedule, but it's great. Anyways, I waffled on long enough. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.